And welcome to another Huddle Breakdown Extra Time. I'm your host Martin Murphy and joined as ever by James and by Alan. How are you guys?
Good. I'm doing well. It's as a American baseball fan, I don't talk about or think about these equinoxes, about spring starting on March or whatever. The official start to spring in the United States is opening day in baseball, and that's today. I got my Blue Jays shirt on. It's a long story why I'm a Blue Jays fan, but so yeah, opening day. I'm a happy man once spring officially. Nicer
Blue
weather,
Jays.
you know.
Is that Toronto Blue Jays?
It is.
I was going to say it's not even in the same country, but
it's
apparently it might be.
Oh well, it should be. As I said on Tuesday,
Yeah.
We're heading in that direction. So we'll see. Maybe Western Canada. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, maybe you should support Cowdenbeath with those colours, and that might be the 52nd state in time.
The blue Brazil.
Yeah. 162 games. I mean, oh boy. What?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
That kind of seems similar to what Celtic were doing between about late September and at the end of February, just all crammed in all these sort of matches. It's hard to imagine, isn't it, that amount of games? Wow.
I mean, joking apart, we were just chatting before the show started, and it is actually how they're trying to make the powers that be are trying to make football, which is create as many meaningless games as you possibly can to extract as much money out of people as you possibly can and then you have some playoffs like that only last 10 minutes, but that's where all the fun starts. But you've played hundreds of games to get there. It's just like ludicrous, but that's how the Champions League's going, frankly. And thanks to all the lovely American owners that we have in both England and Scotland now, they just want more games to present to the customers that they're now charging premium rates for to get through the door. That's the way it's going, isn't it?
Yeah, there'll be no relegation, nothing like that, Alan?
No.
Sorry. Alan, I also have to mention this as well, because you picked up on James's Blue Jays shirt. You were accusing me of this being a maroon shirt. Not only did I pretty much forget...
No, not accusing. It was more observing.
I think there was an element of accusation there with the tone. But, it's rust. It's just the light in the room. But in any case, I'm comfortable with that, Alan. I'm comfortable with it.
That's fine. It probably is a fair analogy for, Lauren Shanklin's joints,
Hopefully he's for him as well. A bit of luck. But, looking ahead to today's programme, obviously we've got the Hearts game just in a moment, which we'll discuss. But I think really, really importantly, we're going to be discussing some of the questions sent in by subscribers. So it's one of the real, I think, highlights for the Huddle Breakdown Extra Time is the subscriber involvement. Some of these questions are terrific, and I'll say in advance, incidentally, that just the sheer volume of them, we narrowed it down to 10. So I was wondering if we were going to go for the 9 in a row, but no, James and Alan are here for 10 in a row, folks. 10 questions in a row. Hang on.
Are you saying might
even have a poem later as well.
Martin, he's saying some of them are rubbish. Is that the implication?
I don't think I'm qualified enough to judge the quality of these questions. I think
you said that answer is worthy of a US Secretary of Defense.
Hang on, yes, I get on this WhatsApp group and give my real views.
Was that classified information? I don't think I'm qualified to answer that question. I was on that call, for God's sake.
That was just marvellous. It just goes beyond those. It was Armando Iannucci, sort of in the loop sort of programs. It's just it's beyond parody. It was absolutely remarkable stuff. I was just completely wide-eyed when all that came out. But there we have it. Good luck, James.
Thank you.
I can see why you're
appreciate it.
stockpiling wood and all the rest of it.
I can see why you're coming to Scotland next week.
That's right.
No, you're not going back, are you?
No, refugee status. I'm going to apply while I'm there.
I don't think
don't tell them at Ibrox.
Oh, sorry. That's why I'm wearing my blue. I'm hedging my bet.
We don't want any of your woke ideologies over here, by the way.
You'll always
pretend
be
I'm Canadian
welcome here, James. Always be welcome here. Some of your tweets and things, I'm not sure they'll allow you back anyway. I think it's a ever-changing situation there.
Yeah. Well, before we get started on the Hearts preview, real quick, I wanted to mention because we had hinted at having a guest. Unfortunately, we had scheduled a guest and then they had to back out relatively last minute. So unfortunately, we won't have a Hearts analyst to go over the game. We tried our bestest, but couldn't make it happen. So apologies for not delivering on that.
But his loss, James.
No, well, these things happen. Life happens, right?
Life happens. I'm only joking. Yeah, life
right.
happens. So hopefully in the future, we can get a Hearts analyst to join us. It'd always be really interesting. And again, a great feature of this particular show. So I suppose if I come to you, first of all, James, a huge improvement in Hearts since we last played them at home. A change of manager. It was Naismith, wasn't it, when we won 2-0 at Celtic Park earlier in the season. At that time, they were relegation-haunted Hearts. They've now moved into the top 6. Very tight league, of course. They're just a point ahead of Motherwell, and they're just 2-3 points behind their rivals, Hibernians. So I suppose, what's your views on Hearts in terms of where they're at in the league and where you think that they may finish?
Yeah, so I went back and because they've been kind of they're one of these teams that particularly in the first half of the season were underperforming. The results were not reflecting the level with which their underlying data was suggesting that they were performing at. And if you break that down, it's some finishing, some opposition keeper play, that kind of stuff. And they've really started to come on in the last, let's say, month, 2 months. And, obviously climbing up the table. I think they're 6th now. But if you look at the underlying data, they're actually kind of solidly right there with Hibs, depending on the data vendor, as far as who's third behind Celtic and Rangers, like non-penalty XG difference, and even from open play, all these other things. So what I did is I went back and the last 7 seasons looked at, and why 7 seasons? Because that's how many seasons are in the data set. Kind of who finishes third in the league and what their data looks like, and how's that compare to where Hearts and Hibs are right now. And they compare very favorably. Hearts is basically right there with Steve Clark's Kilmarnock from the 18-19 season, which, I'm sure as all of our viewers remember, they were a royal pain in the ass to play, and we dropped a lot of points, or a material amount of points, particularly in Kilmarnock. During his tenure, they were very difficult to play. So they're right in that neighborhood. And this is before any theoretical Tony Bloom, adoption of fulsomely in their strategy. So yeah, they've been pretty good. And Al and I were very kind of positive on their recruitment last summer. Some of the guys they signed have played pretty well. So they've got some talent. They've got some guys who can, hurt you with some speed. Their midfield's pretty athletic. They've been playing more of like almost like a 4-4-2 diamond, more narrow, which again always kind of makes me a little nervous.
We hope you enjoyed this free preview from all of us here at the Huddle Breakdown. We know you have options and we really appreciate you tuning in. To hear the rest of this episode and for much more Huddle Breakdown content, head on over to www.huddlebreakdown.com. We hope you consider subscribing. Thank you.